And welcome back to Truth Hurts, where we expose corrupt politicians and lying corporate media. I'm Jake Duesenberg, your host. We're broadcasting from Roseville, Minnesota, in the heart of the beast, where drag show, story hours, and what else happens around here? Just all the crazy left-wing stuff. This is like, 5-10 miles away from the George Floyd riots? Like, we are in the heart of the beast. And we got an interesting show for you today. First of all, we're going to talk about Ray Epps, this big conspiracy. Why is he all of a sudden being charged? We find this out because he's suing Fox News. This is an interesting story. We'll get into that. Also, White House has now concluded. Secret Service, White House, FBI, who's investigating that one?
I think it was the Secret Service.
Secret Service investigating where the cocaine came from in the White House. Now, if they were like at my house and they found cocaine, which I would imagine they wouldn't ever find that, hopefully, allegedly. I didn't own the house originally, right? I bought it from someone. Do I go to prison? Like, do I get arrested if they find cocaine in my house? You know, I have no idea. But anyway, we're going to talk about that story because there's no suspect. The Minnesota Republican Party broke $53 in the bank account. Got to talk about that. And the Court of Appeals in Minnesota found that the COVID emergency was constitutional.
Was it, though?
That's going to be an interesting topic. Joining me as usual, we have, back from a quasi-honeymoon, Mr. Straight-Laced himself. Some call him the blonde Matt Walsh in Minnesota, William Beck.
A lot of people call me that. I would never call myself that, but a lot of people call me that.
A lot of people.
A lot of people.
Joining him, the other political junkie, is Mega Jesse. How you doing there, buddy?
Yep, good to be here. And, we got to expose Sleepy Joe taking some cocaine. He needs a little bit of speed in his life anyway. And
so you think it's Joe?
Oh, yeah. It's Joe and Hunter. And they got prostitutes there, too.
Man, Q adjacent Mega Jesse. I can't believe he's got
adjacent Mega Jesse.
Yeah,
proudly. What a conspiracy. Reading your comments, let us know where you're watching from. If you want to have your comment read on air and don't want to take the gamble, we'll get to it. Go ahead and drop a Rumble rant, $10 or more. We'll read your comment on air live. Otherwise, we'll try to get as many comments as possible, but we got a good show for you. So I don't know. Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. So maybe you have to do that Rumble rant. But we appreciate everyone that tunes in. Bridget Williams will be reading your comments. How you doing, Bridget?
I sure will. Great. We already have Tucker,
Bridget.
T-Wall,
Bridget.
and K-Wall here. Oh my gosh, I'm not on.
Is she not on?
I just remember.
Bridget's microphone.
That time it wasn't Dawson's fault on the audio.
Dawson, this is my first mess up in a long time, okay? Well, in at least several shows.
Did they kind of hear her a little bit through my mic?
Not
how's
at
it
all.
work?
No.
No? So
I'd be
it was just
doing
funny.
a bad job if they could hear through your mic.
Gotcha.
Sorry, guys. I
Well,
didn't have my mic on.
Of course, Deep State Dawson himself running the
But we have-
dials.
yeah.
That's who knows all that information. So go ahead and repeat what you were
I
trying
was just
to
going to say hi
Bridget.
to Tucker, Base Minnesota, T-Wall, and K-Wall are here already.
T-Wall, K-Wall. Love those two. I love Base Minnesota and Tucker. Tucker's probably the OG of our show. Like, first
Yeah,
fan.
he's always the first comment.
Also running the...
he was just posting on Truth Social. So, yeah, Tucker's doing some promotion work for us.
There
Those
you
two
go.
are like always in their own world in Truth Social.
Oh, yeah.
Well, is that Q adjacent Tucker then?
No, I don't know. You'd have to ask Tucker.
All right, first story is from the Daily Wire. This is Ray Epps being criminally charged. Now, I'm guessing a lot of you guys saw the mainstream corporate media, or maybe... Well, when I say mainstream corporate media, you're probably like me. You don't actually tune in. You just see a headline probably on the socials, right? No one here watches. No one watches, like turns on the TV and watches like NBC, right? Correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm guessing you guys at home, same way. Let us know if that's not true. And by the way, if you're not following us on Rumble, make sure you like us on Rumble. So, I think I probably saw the headlines drop on social media that Ray Epps is suing Fox News. And the media's so giddy. Yay, go down, Fox News, go down. And by the way, we don't really care because Fox News has kind of gotten much, much worse. Also part of the corporate media. But it's left versus right or Republican versus Democrat. That's how they sell it. And so MSNBC, NBC, and CNBC, fake news CNBC. Do you see that Minnesota's the top 5 states for business on CNBC? That's
Fake news.
We should have been talking about that today.
We should have been.
Oh, God, there's too much to talk about. So anyhow, they're giddy because Ray Epps is suing Fox News. Well, here's this thing that they weren't reporting on, so that's why we go to the Daily Wire, which does a great job at reporting. Ray Epps to be criminally charged for events on January 6th, his attorney says. An attorney for Ray Epps, a man seen on video wearing a Trump hat during the January 6th riot, says that his client has been informed by federal law enforcement officials that they intend to charge him in connection with events of that day. The revelation was made in a lawsuit that Epps filed against Fox News on Wednesday. that accused the network and former host Tucker Carlson of defaming him. Now, if you don't know, a lot of us believe this guy probably works for a 3-letter acronym agency in D.C. At this point, we assume it's not the FBI. And that's what they said, right? That
he said that he's never worked for the FBI, and case closed.
Case
apparently.
closed, right?
Yeah.
Except for, I don't know, the CIA, DOH. I mean, there's like so many other ones that we could allude to him working for.
What's DOH?
Department of Homeland Security, DOH. I had to keep it in the 3-letter acronym.
Well, also, why are we taking his word for it?
Well, I mean,
He
I
could
think
lie.
it was.
People lie
Wasn't
all
that
the
to
time.
Congress or?
No, I don't think so. I think he was just told
Oh.
60 Minutes.
Well, and he could also just be contracted. He doesn't have to say, I worked for them. Really, he could be contracted or
That's
something.
true, yeah.
So he's not employed, right? Epps has long been accused by many of being an undercover federal agent who instigated some of the events of that day. 2 parts of that story. Accused of being a federal agent, we don't know. But definitely instigated some of the events. We'll show you the proof. He has strongly denied being a federal agent. Well, even in the close of that sentence or that paragraph. Yeah, he has strongly denied the first part of that. Buried deep in the lawsuit, Epps' lawyer says that the DOJ recently informed Epps that it plans to prosecute him. Epps' lawyer blamed Carlson for the potential forthcoming charges. Okay, so here's the story, guys. Tucker Carlson. It's not even Tucker Carlson. Like, Tucker Carlson's late to the game on this one. It's like the Mega Jessies of the world that just scour the internet and see things on January 6th videos, and they go, who is this Ray Epps guy, right? And they're like, this, and then by the way, and we'll show you this video, Ray Epps, even when he's at the Capitol, people are going, Fed, 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 right? Mm-hmm. So it's the random late night blogger, social media user that found out about Ray Epps 2.5 years before the FBI actually formally charged this guy. Now, I don't think we've seen any formal charges of Ray Epps yet, but that's what they're alluding to in this lawsuit. So let's pull up this video. We pulled this off Rumble. We could put the link somewhere in the show notes. But this is a Rumble montage of Ray Epps on January 6th. And this doesn't even really include the most incriminating part on him. Do you have it ready to go, Dawson? Yep. So let's watch this video. This is who Ray Epps is, and you can see why people think he's a Fed, and definitely why you would think this is the guy that the media should hate for inciting violence.
5, inciting the crowd to invade the Capitol.
Tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go. I'll say it.
All right.
We need to go in.
Shut the up, Boomer.
To the Capitol.
Monument Hill.
Stop speaking. We are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction. Please spread the word.
Epps is met with disgust by Trump crowds time and again.
Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol.
And is even called out as a federal agent.
Into the Capitol. No! Peacefully. Fed. Peacefully. Fed. Hey.
That's so dumb. There he is.
After January 6, Beatty says Epps was featured on the FBI's most wanted list. But after Revolver started investigating Epps mysteriously disappears from the list. Despite a library of video evidence showing Epps clearly leading and inciting the crowd, Epps appears to be a free man today.
It might make sense.
Okay, go ahead and cut it there. And that's obviously a video from a while ago, so now apparently he's being charged, and it's up to Tucker Carlson. Now, first of all, shouldn't they be thanking Tucker Carlson for finding the guy that's been inciting violence on this bloody, awful day. I mean, the left.
Yeah, like you said, it wasn't Tucker Carlson who figured this out. He just popularized it. He just made more people aware of Ray Epps. But, people knew about it basically day one that, there was this sketchy guy out there, Ray Epps, that he's saying all these things that make people think he's a Fed, that makes people think that he's agent provocateur. And, considering the fact that the media is covering up for him, and the January 6th committee, they didn't even want to meet with Ray Epps. So it's all just such a scam that they have an idea they want to push through of what January 6th was, and they don't want to give us the whole truth.
Well, it's so funny they're making this guy to be the hero. Like, they're all so sympathetic, and we talked about this. We did a show on this, the really bizarre 60 Minutes appearance of Ray Epps. That is a really weird one because they're making him out to be this like guy whose life's being ruined by right-wing conspiracies. Now, we don't have any intimate knowledge here, guys. I mean, we're what, 1,000 some miles away from there. We don't know, okay? And I think he's from Arizona originally, right? So we don't know. But when you look at those videos, and we're led to believe like this is such a terrible, tragic day. So you got a guy that's instigating. The clip they didn't have is him whispering in the ear at the initial breach point, and then that guy pushes down the wall. How is this guy not suspect number one?
Mm-hmm.
So, but the media's treating him like he is some victim. And so you should be thanking Tucker Carlson for amplifying the voice of just the regular internet user finding about Ray Epps. You should be thanking him because now it's led to a guy being charged on January 6th. But that's not the narrative here. It's not the narrative. We got to feel bad for Ray Epps. And I just do this real quick, Dawson. Pull up Google and type in Ray Epps. And listen, we could just show you the montage of articles that come up. Type in Ray Epps and then hit news. And then, on the top. Well, that's good enough right there. No. Well, either one works. That's a better montage. Go back to the other one because it's just automatically pulling up. So, Trump supporter Ray Epps sues Fox News for defamation. Trump voter sues Fox News after Tucker Carlson lies, ruined his life. Fox News sued for defamation by man linked to conspiracy theories. Pro-Trump protester Ray Epps files defamation suit against Fox News. Nowhere in there do you see that this guy, what Tucker did, led to this guy being apparently formally charged by the Department of Justice.
And Ray Epps is an anti-Trumper now. They put the headlines in there to say he's a Trump supporter. He's no Trump supporter.
Which is true. It's like that's maybe why he's liked by the media now because he's a they love the turncoats, don't they, Jesse?
Oh yeah,
they love those guys.
Yep. Anyone that will flip on Trump, they're a hero.
Let's go to some comments here. What do we got?
Yeah, we have some. Base Minnesota says if the mainstream media labels something a conspiracy theory, it will most likely turn out to be a fact down the road.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, every time they were talking about that in COVID, almost every conspiracy theory, at least from mainstream people like us, turned out to be right.
And then Tucker says Chris Wray wouldn't even answer how many agents were undercover during January 6th.
Yes, that's right.
Let's see. Razzle Dazzle says, I'm here, ready for another intriguing show. Let's continue to take action for liberty.
You got it. I love
cool.
it.
I like that.
I'll give you that $20 later, Razzle Dazzle. That was great. That was a great little segue. What I think is happening here is that the average Joe is better at investigating than the feds. I mean, what other conclusion can we make here, right? They are better at investigating the stuff than the feds. Because you know what else is interesting about the feds? Secret Service somehow has not been able to find out where this cocaine came from in the White House. Now, William, no, it wasn't William. We talked about this last Thursday briefly on the show.
Oh, gotcha.
Jesse wasn't here. And he's like, why are we talking about the cocaine? And I want to pull up what Trump has to say because you said he has got some good comments on this. But I'm like, I kind of feel like this is what the media wants us talking about. The powers to be, they want us talking about this. But it is an interesting story. So
Joe Biden doesn't want us talking about the cocaine in the White House.
You
no
sure?
way. Oh, of course. Why would he want? This is a blemish on his career. He's looking at this as a big problem.
I don't know. It's
We
kind
have
of like.
a Rumble rant.
Oh, go ahead. Rumble rant. That interrupts us. Rumble
K-Wall
rants
for
interrupt.
Life says you can't overstate the importance of optics in MSM, i.e. a Fox, CNN, or PMS, NBC lawsuit.
I love that PMS.
Well, I know. So, just like, Fox News folded on Dominion, are they going to fold on Ray Epps? I wouldn't be so surprised because, they got rid of Tucker Carlson, the one that Ray Epps is mainly alleging is the reason for, all the problems in his life, not the fact that he was telling people to go inside the Capitol building as a Fed. So, it's just interesting. I could see Fox News totally caving again. Don't you guys think?
Of course. They always cave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this one, well, I thought they were going to win the last one. I guess not, so what do I know?
So you're 0 for 1?
I would assume that this might be a good thing, to drag Ray Epps into the public eye and to, like, actually unpack everything in a court of law.
Yeah.
It could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I love it. It's like defamation of character. So you're being pursued by the Department of Justice, right, according to the lawyers, like, for something really terrible. And what we're worried about is some people accuse him of being a federal agent. Like, this is the big travesty out there. Like, it's first of all, like, there was no record. Like, remember how they did this interview on CBS? It was on 60 Minutes, and it was like no one even knew where this guy was. And then all of a sudden, CBS gets this interview. I mean, this guy is so damn mysterious. I'm just telling you what I see with my own eyes, and it's like this guy's kind of suspect. I kind of feel like he's a little bit of a actor, like he's kind of working for some 3-letter agency. That's what I see, especially like that one in front of the plow, and he's like, "Guys, the Capitol's this way." I'm like, "What?"
He's like, "Spread the word."
Spread the word. Yeah, that's how they do it, by the way.
Yeah. Yep.
Jesse, you said you're certain he is a federal agent. That's what you're saying. You made that statement of fact.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Well, I'm pretty certain too. I think most of our viewers probably think the same.
I don't know. I'm just saying that's what it looks like, right?
Yeah, well, we don't want to get a defamation suit. So
there you go.
Good call.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, I'm not scared of Ray Epps.
Secret Service ends probe of White House cocaine discovery with no suspects on the Hill. The Secret Service ending its investigation into the discovery of cocaine at the White House. After failing to identify a suspect, lawmakers briefed on the matter disclosed, and the Secret Service confirmed on Thursday. Emerging from a closed-door briefing in the Capitol's sensitive compartmented information facility, which is a SCIF, we've talked about in the show. That's where you house classified documents, not by a Corvette in a garage. Lawmakers on the House Oversight Committee said the probe will officially end Friday. Quote, "The Secret Service is ending their investigation tomorrow," said whiny Marjorie Taylor Greene. Basically, I said that, Jesse. You looked up at the screen really quick to see if that was true. Basically, they told us that the investigation will be over tomorrow. They don't know who it is, Representative Tim Burkett said. Greene said the Secret Service was able to narrow down a list of approximately 500 potential suspects, but would not detail who was included because it was classified, only saying that the list included, quote, "quite a mix of people," end quote. Now, who does Trump think this cocaine belongs to, Jesse?
Yeah, so I just found one of them here. He said, "The public is demanding to know the White House cocaine story, just like I quickly provided security tapes from Mar-a-Lago on the box's hoax. The White House has security cameras, far more than Mar-a-Lago, all over the place, especially the location in question. They 100% know who it is. If they don't release the information, it means they're destroying the tapes, and the cocaine was used by Hunter and probably Crooked Joe in order to give this disaster of a president a little life and energy." There's another one in here somewhere, too.
You know what? Trump should campaign on releasing the who did it when he's elected.
Yeah, they'll delete
He
the
should
tapes.
declassify all that information.
If it's there, absolutely.
Yeah.
And let's see, there was another one here.
Just imagine if Joe Biden is on cocaine, and that's Joe Biden on cocaine, what we see. The Mr.
Yeah.
Stumbler and can't put a sentence together.
Do you guys think that wouldn't help Biden's running platform, though? How cool would it be to see a president doing lines with his son? Like, it's great bonding. I don't know.
Maybe it is.
I mean, that might have. The people who would vote for Biden because of that are already voting for Biden.
Yeah, that's the question is how much would it hurt him? And I'm not so certain it would hurt him that much. You got to be crazy at this point to vote for Biden, right?
You guys seen that video of Hunter Biden on the White House balcony on the 4th of July?
No.
Yeah, it's like Hunter stepping outside. He's like running his hands through his hair. He's got the big eyes.
Oh, that was from this 4th?
Yeah.
Oh, I
that
did
was
see
from.
that. Yeah, he looks like he's high.
Yeah. So that's where everyone's like, oh, it's
okay.
definitely
Well,
Hunter
let's
Biden.
pull that up here. We've got to look at this because it's probably true.
Yeah.
What date did they find that cocaine?
Huh?
When did they find the cocaine?
It was over like the 4th of July weekend.
was.
It was it was right when the White House announced they were sending cluster ammunitions to Ukraine.
Yeah. Okay, here's the other one. Trump says, I have an idea. Get deranged Jack Smith to take just a tiny portion of the millions of dollars he is spending illegally targeting me and let him go to the White House with his army of thugs to solve the cocaine dilemma. I'd bet they'd already know the answer. But just in case, it could be done in 5 minutes. Is it Crooked Joe and his wonderful son, Hunter? Release the findings. Release the tapes. We can't have a crackhead in charge of our nuclear arsenal. And that's 100% true. You know, Hunter had to get it from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You know, it had to have been, you know, it's not like Hunter Biden just picked up crack, you know? I bet it was
It
Joe.
almost seems like he does.
You're
Maybe.
making it sound like it's a super hard thing to get. Like you need someone in the White House to.
No, I'm
vouch
not saying
for
that.
you.
I'm saying, you know, that maybe Joe Biden introduced him to it or something. Who knows, you know?
Oh,
I don't know. Joe Biden, he's kind of one of those 2 tiers of justice types. You know, he passes the, what's that drug bill? The Crime
19,
Act.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something.
so he passes that, but, you know, doesn't affect him or his son. So, yeah, he's a criminal.
Do we have this video of him on the balcony?
I'm doing my best to find a good video to show.
Oh, they don't. Of course, they don't have good videos.
I think it might. I saw it on Twitter, so maybe.
Can you find it real quick and send
Yeah,
it
I
to
can
Dawson?
see if I can find it.
We'll have him send
If
it to
someone
you.
in the replies wants to find it too.
Yeah, you got to send it to Dawson on the show notes or send it to him via email. That's easy.
Every big news outlet that has it on YouTube or is just saying like the Biden family
Oh,
celebrated the
got
4th
it.
of July or whatever.
What did they say? You kind of mumbled in the end there.
Sorry, but my voice is gone. They're saying that they were just celebrating the 4th of July, and then it looks like they cut out the part where Hunter walks out and is looking all freaky.
I have it right here. I'm a
Are you
couple.
losing it all of a sudden?
No, I was putting it in the show notes. I was about to put it a couple weeks back.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, put it in today's show notes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very curious. I think I did see this.
Yeah, you guys saw Joe Biden on the beach, right?
No.
Oh, man, shirtless Joe Biden. He was out there, you know, the White House tells people, oh, he's got a very busy schedule. He's preparing for a speech. Where is he? He's out on a beach. You know, he's paler than me. Joe Biden is. It's, yeah, he's
Well, I would expect the
disgusting.
yeah, I'd expect the president to be
I'm not going to
pretty
make
pale.
fun of an 80-year-old for being white and saggy.
Oh, well,
But
Mr. Moral Superiority over here.
I don't know. I'll
Let's
probably
watch,
look like
let's
that
watch
one,
this
maybe.
video here. Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Come on, give me more than that.
I did see more than that. I mean, that's
Oh,
probably the worst.
That's what I saw, I think.
That's a good
Like, he
one.
just looks high, doesn't
Well, clearly on cocaine.
It's tough.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
can't tell from here.
Definitely. No doubt.
Really? No doubt at all?
No doubt. I have zero doubt. I mean, that's all the evidence I need.
Wow.
Convict him. Of course, we know he'd get the Hunter Biden justice, right? You know, different
Slap
tier,
on the
right?
wrist,
Yeah,
Mhm.
nothing big.
No, and that's the thing. Obviously, why are they going after this stuff? Why are they exposing some of this stuff? It's because they want to look like they're fair. You know, they want to increase the public credibility of these, you know, these alphabet agencies and, you know, FBI, CIA. Nobody trusts them. Nobody believes in them anymore except for the Democrats. And, you know, they do this kind of stuff. Oh, we're going after Hunter Biden's business partner. No, you're not. You know, we're going after Ray Epps. No, you're not. You know, they're really just trying to go after Trump. They do this other stuff to try to make us believe that it's fair. It's all fake.
Yeah, I mean, it's really coming down to that these days. Like, essentially, you want to go after Trump, but you don't really do anything else, you know? It's actually disgusting. In fact, I shouldn't say that. They go after anyone that's against their... Because it's not right versus left, right? They'll give a pass to a rhino. It's just the people that are woken up, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I guess
Sucks.
Gavin Newsom's trying to throw DeSantis in jail. You guys heard about
No,
that?
I haven't heard about this.
Oh, yeah,
We
because
should
of
have
the...
just had you do the show prep today.
yeah,
You were
well,
so quiet during show prep, and you got like a gazillion different subjects that we didn't even get to hear about.
yeah, you get... I don't know, but... yeah, so...
It's a hang jig.
Yeah. No, but Gavin Newsom... Gavin Newsom is going after DeSantis for when DeSantis was... mailing, you know, shipping out all the migrants, you know, send them to different states and everything. So Newsom is suing him for trafficking, human trafficking, and
I think I did hear about.
yeah, kidnapping, stuff like that. So,
But like,
But that's not they wanted to. It's not like he did it against their will.
right? No,
That's
they
not
released
the argument.
videos of like the migrants, like walking, looking happy. I
Yeah.
think they even thanking people.
right, but also it's not like they speak English; they don't know what they're signing.
They have interpreters.
You'd
They
assume
had
so.
come on, they had an interpreter. They knew what they were getting. Why wouldn't they do it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know fully, but I'm just saying, I was just bringing up the story, because you guys didn't know, but
No, we clearly didn't know about this. So,
but basically, what my point is we all know Newsom's in the wing waiting for Biden to stumble and fall.
Razzle Dazzle says maybe Gavin dropped the white stuff in the White House.
Yeah, right.
when
Maybe
was
it was
Gavin last in the White House?
I don't know.
He
Probably
looks like
too recent.
like he does coke,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like in a Wall Street kind of way.
but
yeah, it looks like the
look
Wall
back
Street
here.
type.
But yeah, this whole thing, it's like, it's storybook. They got, Biden going after Trump, and then who's the B tier guy for the Democrats? Newsom. Who's the B tier guy for the Republicans? DeSantis. So, they do this whole thing so that Newsom can go after DeSantis, Biden goes after Trump, and then, what they really want to do is they want to either kill, assassinate, or, throw Trump in prison, make sure that he can't run for office. That way they can run Newsom. And then, the Republicans will try to force DeSantis down our
They want
throats.
to kill Trump so they can run Newsom?
Well, no, I'm saying eventually they want to get Biden out of the way, too. I'm not convinced that Biden is going to be the Democratic nominee.
Bad Hat Harry agrees. Says
Yeah.
the DNC has decided President Biden will not run again.
Yeah.
Well, Biden is running, right?
Well, yeah, I
and we've
guess so.
predicted this on the show.
Is he, though?
Right.
It's not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he's
yeah,
not
yeah,
he's
yeah.
not campaigning.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's
Not
not.
really. He's not.
He's
not
not campaigning.
Yeah,
He's just
I
doing
guess-
the job of the
Right.
president,
Well,
supposedly.
is he doing the? Yeah, is he really doing the job? This is what we've said on the show, and this is what I'll stand by this. What the establishment Democrats are doing is they're keeping Biden in the race to stop anyone else from challenging him that they don't want. They clearly don't want RFK. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
RFK does not go with the script.
Right.
And RFK is the only other one with a shot. Although we do have Joe Exotic on
He's
show
got
on
it.
Tuesday,
He's got-
right?
Yeah.
We have
Tuesday at 1
another
o'clock.
Rumble rant. Base Minnesota says, love the show, doing some tithing. It pains me to see a smart and skeptical guy like Jesse falling for the Trump spell.
Oh.
Yeah, falling for some spell. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I want to make America great again. Sue me. Lock me up with Trump. Yeah, go ahead, because I want to save America. I want to drain the swamp. I want to take out the deep state. Yeah, I'm falling for a spell. Yeah, right. At least I'm not falling for Rhino Ron.
The guy just paid us $10.
He got
and
it.
they're yelling at
money's
him.
worth.
He got 13, actually. He gave 13.
13. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you gave us 13?
Yeah.
No, that was worth 13.
Appreciate the $13.
What is that, a beer? We could get him a beer downtown Minneapolis for that.
Hey, yeah, they're down in Minneapolis. Yeah. Does that include
The Target
tip, or
Field,
is that-
that's a beer with one. Is it even a tip? Can they even leave a tip on it? What does a beer cost at Target Field? I don't know. Stop going there. I actually stopped caring about the Twins. I grew up a Twins fan. I love the Twins. I don't give a crap about the Twins. I
So-
kind of hope they lose.
This is interesting. I was at a Twins game maybe a couple weeks back.
Twins game, Taylor Swift.
Hey, we have a
Mission
comment
Impo-
really quick about Taylor
My
Swift
God.
before. Brad Ganser says,
no.
congrats, William. You could have used some extra Taylor Swift revenue for a honeymoon.
He's got a point.
That's a point. I
God,
won't say it's a
someone
good
else-
point or a bad point.
Someone
It's
else
just a point.
brought that up too the other. Oh, was that Brad? That when I talked to him on the phone, someone else brought that up. I thought about the Taylor Swift thing. Apparently, a lot of people like that segment. All right, go on. Sorry, continue. What were you
Yeah,
saying?
I'm glad one of us likes
You were
the
saying
segment.
something about the Twins.
Yeah, so they took down their Black Lives Matter banner that they had. You know what I'm talking about? They had a BLM banner for years down by the field, and they just replaced it with "End Racism," which, it's fine. It's
I know. Even the
That's
The
a
fact that
little
they-
better.
the fact that they replaced it though, like BLM's such a politically charged
Right.
message, and racism like kind of is.
I
but
know
it's
because
so
we all
much less
agree with
political.
ending racism.
Right,
it's just so
right.
stupid. You like we
Right.
kind of know what you're doing, but yeah.
I don't know if it's related, but the University of Minnesota, when my senior year there, they had released uniforms with "End Racism" on it. So maybe it's just like
Oh,
a
maybe
sports
that could
thing.
be.
Just the new slogan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Well, yeah, honestly, the problem with baseball is it's just not that interesting of a sport, right? Like home runs are awesome, like really tense pitching situations are cool.
Really?
Some base running cool, but it's just not an engaging, interesting sport like football is. So it's like I'm always on the margins anyhow, like barely hooking on. And part of the reason is cable cutting, like or cord cutting. So there's no real good way to watch the Twins anyhow for a person that's cut the cord. But it's like I'm just done. You guys do the Pride Month, the BLM. I'm done. I don't care.
Well, on the interest angle of it, they changed the rules so like games go a lot quicker now. So it doesn't take.
And that's a
forever
good
to get
rule.
through.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, no, the game went so much quicker. There's more action and whatnot. Yeah, I don't like that they do the BLM and Pride stuff. So like, it wasn't my idea to go to the Twins game, but we had a good time.
How much
nonetheless.
longer is he going to? A man leaves his mother and father and joins a unit, and he's just always blaming his wife now.
I'm not blaming
Former
my wife.
fiance.
I'm just.
Former fiance,
I'm
now
just,
wife. You do that all the time.
I don't.
At some point, you actually want to go to Taylor Swift and basically lose on the opportunity to
So I
net
did want to go to
$4,000.
the. I did want to go to the Twins game. I will own up to that one.
Okay.
It wasn't my idea, but I was like, yeah, we should do it.
Am I missing something, or did Jake say that football is better to watch in person than baseball?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, first of all, it is,
No
but
way.
I didn't say that in person. I just mean
College
in general.
football is more fun to watch generally in person.
Football's a more fun sport to watch.
Yeah.
In person? Like
In
at the
person or
field?
on TV, either
Regardless,
one.
yeah.
I don't know what
Ooh,
you're
no,
getting at.
I hard disagree. Baseball is the best sport to watch in person, in my opinion.
I
well,
love
that's
the
your
minor
opinion.
league
Your opinion's
games.
wrong, but that's okay.
Showing up at I haven't been to a St. Paul Saints game, but I've been to other minor league games in other states. Those are a lot of fun to go to.
Yeah, I went to the Saints back when they were at down there in Midway, and I think I went to the first Saints game actually at the new stadium, if I remember right. It was the first couple games. I think it was the first game because Bill Murray was there. He's a part owner.
Is he still a part owner? Didn't they sell it off recently?
I have no idea. I'll tell you what. If you find video of that first game, actually, you probably could find it. There's a scene where the bat flies out of his hand and it goes in the audience, and you could see in the video. I'm holding my Colton, so this must be like 2015. Yeah, it must have been spring 2015. And so Colton's really young, and I'm holding him, and the bat is coming flying. You can see me like turn my shoulder so that the bat hits, because I thought this thing was going to hit me. And I turn my shoulder so Colton doesn't get hit. When you watch the video, though, I think the video's out there still. I remember seeing it some on video. It doesn't look like it's close, but when this bat's coming flying, you don't know the trajectory.
Wow.
So it's probably like a couple rows up on me, but it was like, holy crap, that bat's flying right at me.
See, what other spectator sport puts you in danger as a spectator?
Monster trucks?
Oh, I have never been to a monster truck rally. I want to do that so bad.
They used to do them at the Metrodome. I don't know if they do them. They probably still do it like Target Center, I'd imagine.
Yeah, they've had them.
I've heard they're loud.
I think UFC is the best spectator sport, honestly.
We have hockey fans. Noof27 says hockey is the best sport to watch. Brad Ganser, college hockey is the best live sport.
Hockey's the best to watch
Bad
in
Hat Harris is
person,
hockey.
but it's a huge drop off once you watch that on TV, almost for
Really?
sure. Yeah,
Hockey is
Yeah,
the
they're
best in
saying
person.
live.
yeah, live. It's a hard one to beat.
Been to high school hockey games. Never been to a professional hockey game.
I've never been to professional either, but you got to imagine it's going to be pretty equally good. I've been to the Excel Center to watch high school hockey league, but yeah,
That'd be
I
fun.
grew up watching hockey, and oh my God, in River Falls we had so much fun hockey.
Yeah.
God, and we taunt the goalie on the other team.
The only hockey game I would go and watch would be, and I think it's NDSU versus UND. Is that right? Which one is the one that fights a lot? I'm pretty sure
you got
it's,
to narrow that one down there, buddy.
Yeah, it's hockey.
it's one of the Dakotas. I believe it's UND. Maybe I'm wrong. I have to look up on it.
Good story. How did we get off on the
Harry
subject
said
here?
UND.
UND, apparently. How did we get off on the subject?
I think that was my fault. I don't remember how, but I'm sure it was.
Well, I know I was ragging on you for Taylor Swift, Brad Ganser.
Oh, then you went to the Twins game.
you went to
The
Twins game.
But why did I go to the Twins game? Or why did I bring that up?
Why did I go?
We were talking about the Twins for a
BLM,
reason.
The
What's
BLM
that?
thing getting changed.
Say that again?
The BLM thing getting changed.
Yeah, but why did that matter? What did that come
No,
from?
that was William being like, I have something to talk about.
I don't think it was. It was. I don't
remember.
usually do that. I think it was relevant.
Next story. The Minnesota GOP has no money. Let's get into this story. Pull up the story, Rod's story. Speaking of Minnesota, teams that aren't doing well. This is from Raw Story, which is a national publication, which is really interesting. Now,
This is the first time I've heard of Raw Story, like reading this article.
Yeah, I've read stuff on them. I don't know, like maybe a Drudge link or something like that. I don't know. Or social media. It's easy to get stuff out there these days. I was briefing someone the other day, a group of people, on the state GOP's finances, which is two things. The Campaign Finance Board report, which is their state funds. Well, the last we know is of December 31st with that. That account had I want to say it was like $8. It was very low amount of money. And they had many unpaid bills. That was an interesting thing. Is they had one of the unpaid bills was the Mayo Civic Centers from the May convention. So the Republican Party, and I was a delegate, so they had a convention last May 2022. That's where Scott Jensen got endorsed. They hadn't paid that bill as of December 31st, 2022.
Right. Well, and also the GOP had a state central committee meeting where, they force everybody to pay. Even if you just want to be a guest that's watching, you still have to pay like $40 or some stupid amount. So, it's like they're taking in all this money for stupid events like that. Where to go? Where is it?
They got to pay David Hand's $40,000 a year salary.
Yeah, I'll get into that. Like they're all taking pay cuts. Well, one of the things they got paid for is a fine, $100,000 fine by the FEC. Don't you love how they accuse us of breaking campaign finance laws when they're the ones that do it? Joke. Anyhow, so there, I think if I remember, I was like 76,000. Why am I guesstimating? This is called The Truth Hurts. Let's just look this up live on air, right? Campaign Finance Board. I'm going to go into this here. So I think a lot of you guys probably care to learn about this. We go to party units, and then we look up Republican Party of Minnesota. And I'm going to send this to you, Dawson. I'm going to put this...
Hold on. Dawson's having conversations in the comments here.
Yeah, that's right.
I know, I'm seeing it. He's still talking sports.
Oh, he's talking sports while
Wow.
we're trying to have a show here?
They're still-
Dare he?
I'm showing off my skills.
Yeah, all those skills you got.
Graphics, switching, audio.
Dawson, I put it in F14, if you will. That should take you to the CFB report, just so people can get a visual on the screen. If you're like me, especially when you're talking about numbers, you see where it says reports and data? Go to that. And then just click on amendment number 1 up there on the top. That shows the most recent. So this is at the end of 2022. Go down to the second screen. Oops, where did you jump to? You went way down. Go back all the way up to the top and then go to the second page. Go down a little bit right there. So what it says is they started the year with $32,000. They raised $1.3 million. They burned through $1.36 million. And then if you scroll to the bottom, sorry, not $8, $8,000. So they ended the year with $8,000. Now you see right above that $8,000, and that's like middle top screen. That's showing the cash on hand at the end of the year. If you look at the unpaid bills, it's right above it, $76,482.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I remember looking into it. One of them was they didn't pay for the Mayo Civic Center. So their state of affairs in this, and this is not the account that they pay their staff. They pay their staff in the FEC one. So 2 accounts, state account and then the federal account and the FEC account. So they report to 2 different agencies, okay? So this account, they have $8,000 left in, and they have $76,482 in liabilities. Accounts payable, if you will, right? Okay, and by the way, I think they've been telling people they have no debt. Yeah, they've been lying to a lot of people. Okay, so then you get into the FEC report. Let's go back to this article by Ross Story. Now, and that way we don't have to pull up the actual FEC report, although you could do the fact checking yourself. It's right there. I gotta go grab my. State GOP party has just $53 in the bank with $334,000 in debt. FEC filing says. Now I've validated all that stuff. That is true. Minnesota has not voted Republican in a presidential contest in over 50 years. The longest any state in the entire country has gone without doing so. Now think about that for a second. They're saying Minnesota is longer than California. You know why? Because in 1984, Ronald Reagan won every state in the Union except for Minnesota. So, yes, we have gone Democrat longer than even California. But the
And Reagan says he didn't try to win Minnesota. He says he would have won Minnesota if he showed up and tried, you know.
He showed up and tried.
Not according to him, you know. He wanted to, you know, let his opponent win his home state, so
Like a mercy kind of thing.
I think so.
Years and years of major losses, however, appear to have broken their toll on the party, as it is now almost completely broke. According to the latest filing with the FEC, the Republican Party of Minnesota has just $53.81 in the bank. Not even enough in money to buy a single Amazon Fire tablet with Prime Day discounts applied.
It's funny. Yeah.
God, we couldn't even feed our staff here with canes today for $53.81.
Are we doing canes today?
No, we're not doing canes today.
Oh.
It's already past lunch.
You
Jeez.
invoked the good word of canes.
Yeah, you
Yes,
said
yes. By the way, you guys, our staff loves their canes.
Mm-hmm.
By contrast, the party is reporting almost $334 in debts. All this comes as the Minnesota Democrat Farm and Labor Party recently gained full control of the state legislature and is working with Governor Tim Walz to pass a flurry of progressive legislation, from voting rights to gun reforms to universal school lunches. That's right. That's the consequences of these idiots that run the Republican Party running it into the ground. The Minnesota GOP is not alone in its financial woes. A number of Republican state committees face a dire cash shortfall, including states that could be decisive in the 2024 presidential election. They go on to talk about Arizona, Colorado. I think Michigan's in a really bad place too. So they're just having a field day. Obviously, it's a leftist rag, you know. But it's true. It's very true. And in fact, we dug into it. Now, the Republican Party, they're taking – so first of all, they're not raising a ton of money, but they're raising money. They're burning it, tremendously burning it, partly on raising that money because they do mail programs, expensive mail programs. Mm-hmm. But they got a big fine that they're paying, and they have to give back donations because of the fine. And this is from previous years. Here's the other thing they're doing. They're actually not paying staff. So when they reported that Mike Lonergan, their executive director, left, I'm like, of course he left. He hasn't been paid since February. That's according to the reports. They've paid him under the table because not according to the FEC, they haven't paid that guy since February. Andy Aplikowski also not getting paid since February, according to those reports. They got a couple people that are getting paid. David Hand, as you allude to, had to take a pay cut, which is what you do, but if you're not paying your staff, should you even get paid? And then Donna Bergstrom, the deputy chair, and a couple other staff getting paid, but very low amount of wages. So they're in like a really bad situation. And of course, no one's shocked here because you guys don't add any value. But the other people that got paid are these lawyers, the same lawyers that produce these false allegations towards Action for Liberty. What is that law firm? Jacobson Law Group, which is basically a leftist law group. They do like the pro-gambling stuff for the Shakopee tribes. That's the law firm that the GOP hired, and I would allege, won't know because we can't see what they got billed for, but probably paid those guys to come after us with false allegations. So they're apparently drying up the bank accounts of the Republican Party of Minnesota. No money left. $53.81 in the bank. That's how pathetic the Republican Party. Now, what that does is leave them very weak to just be taken over by really nefarious characters. Whether that's like some special interest, big donor, leftists in disguise. I don't know. Maybe the leftists have already taken over the Republican Party of Minnesota. So this is the state of affairs here. If you're following politics in Minnesota, the GOP here has literally no money left.
Yeah, and the Democrats have no debt here. You know, so the Democrats have hundreds of thousands of dollars. They have no debt. They have the majority in the legislature. They have every single statewide office. And, David Hand does nothing but target the grassroots. So, I just can't believe that they're wasting all this money, and if anything, shouldn't the party of fiscal responsibility be able to, properly spend and conserve their money? Of course not. Not when we have people like, David Hand in charge.
Well, that's a problem. Who wants to donate to the Republican Party of Minnesota anymore?
Yeah, people should.
Especially after last cycle when they saw that they actively worked against endorsed candidates.
Right.
What's the point?
Yeah, I mean, they clearly don't care about the grassroots. Mm-hmm. And then they go to PACs, lobbyists, and special interest big donors to get their money, and even they aren't ponying up the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you need a Republican Party because most people vote either Democrat or Republican, and then of course the elections are decided by the people in the middle. But you still have a base of support, and so you'd want to see some support to reach out to that base, which is part of the problem the Republicans have is they don't activate the base very well here in the state. And this is not something that's existed that long. It's probably within the last 20 years. And it's a good reason. It's why we're so critical of these guys.
We have a couple comments
go ahead.
about that, actually.
And then I want to go to what the Court of Appeals just ruled about here on COVID emergencies.
Bad Hat Harry says dismantling state GOP is the next plan with the rhino infiltrators. And then T-Wall says they made their bed, now sleeping at GOP. And then Tucker says Dems also have Act Blue fraud going into their coffers as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dems have so many advantages. You think about like unions; they got these they got the really big donors on their side. Well, corporations, I guess corporations can't give directly to a campaign, but we know how it works. Or sorry, to a state party. Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about this. Court of Appeals in Minnesota declared COVID emergencies are constitutional. William, you wrote the story. Jesse, you wrote the story. Let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah, so the Minnesota Court of Appeals, they ruled that the mask mandate instituted by Tim Walz was constitutional, which is pretty nuts. The Upper Midwest Law Center was suing, obviously correctly saying that, no governor, especially unilaterally, has any authority to tell us what we can and can't do, that we have to wear a mask, especially in public or in private businesses. There's no excuse, no reason at all for any governor under any emergency. But of course, Tim Walz was using the peacetime emergency orders in order to, accomplish all of this, everything that he did unilaterally, all on his own without the legislature. And the Upper Midwest Law Center was saying, how can you even argue that this is what was the word
They call it
a act of nature.
Act of nature.
Yeah, an act of nature. And the Upper Midwest Law Center said, well, hold on a second. Everybody believes, it's most likely that the COVID-19 was created in the Wuhan lab of virology in China. And so that's not a naturally occurring thing. That is a man-made virus. Unfortunately, the corrupt Court of Appeals, they rejected that argument and basically ruled that it's completely fair. It's completely constitutional. This sets bad precedent for Minnesota. And, I'm sure that we'll have another governor in the future try to terrorize people just like Walz did.
I was thinking about this once you did this article. Is part of the conspiracy to cover up the lab leak the fact that there were other states that used an act of nature as the emergency reasons?
I'm sure that had to have played a reason. Yeah, it's baked into some state constitution. So if that point is dismissed, then they might have no argument at all in order to do their emergencies. So I'm sure that definitely plays some role in it.
And I mean, you hear act of nature and you think that means hurricane, tornado. No one ever thinks of that as like a virus that's going around. I've never heard it used in that term. Mm-hmm. So I think they're just making shit up after the fact. That's clearly what the governor did, but why? I mean, these judges doing that. That's just so sad.
Yeah.
And I think this proves why we have to pass the Never Again bill. Now let's go back to these Republicans.
Yeah, because we can't rely on these courts.
Yes,
there's no use in letting laws pass because you think it can be fought in the court. No, you fight every single one of them. And considering that the judges are now saying something unconstitutional is constitutional. We live in a world where everything's opposite. So, it's just nuts to me. If they can declare something constitutional that's the exact opposite, they're just gaslighting us, telling us to believe something that's the opposite of truth.
There's this young, healthy hairstylist at the place that I go to get my hair cut, and she wears a mask. Mm-hmm. Like when did I get my hair cut? Monday? Still this day, wears a mask. And I didn't have her that day, so I didn't I was thinking, I almost couldn't have resisted. Like, why are you doing that? I can't, in my head, fathom why. Nothing screams that she's this leftist, but she's wearing a mask, and she always does when I'm in there. Mm-hmm. It's bizarre.
Yeah,
But-
and, for a time, people wanted you to wear a mask while getting a haircut. It's like,
You had to
I
hold
never
up
did
the-
that. Yeah.
When you had to undo it, hold up your mask while
Oh,
they got
yeah.
your ears.
Yeah, no, I never did that. I only went to places that didn't force me to do that because it's like, I'm not going to let you screw up my hair for a mask.
Right.
It's like, what are we talking about here? So, yeah, no, it's crazy.
It was crazy. It was a crazy time. But this is why you got to pass the Never Again bill. And the Republicans were the ones standing in the way of that. I mean, obviously, Democrats don't want this thing passed, but Republicans and Democrats alike. Let me refrain from that. There are some good Republicans that were obviously on board, but the Republican establishment was against the Never Again bill. Like, you had a lot of leading candidates, like, what was his name? Kendall Qualls, that, like, literally spoke out against the Never Again bill. Gazelka speaking out against the Never Again bill, never gave
Well,
it.
Kendall Qualls changed his position 3 times on his website about the emergency powers. He had one position,
forgot
then it
about that.
changed, then it changed again. And, it just goes to show that he didn't understand the issue. And he didn't understand why people were making a drawing line on that issue because we were saying no governor should have that power unilaterally. So we were saying that it should be completely up to the legislature and that, it would require 2/3 approval.
And then once there's an emergency, it doesn't mean you can take rights away or mandate things.
Right. Yeah, and actually enforcing those time limits, whether it be 30 days or 60 days to, require an update or something. But, yeah, and Kendall Qualls, obviously, he didn't understand the issue or he was on the wrong side of it.
Well, I mean, it wasn't only him. I mean, Gazelka, and Gazelka's Senate Majority Leader.
Benson.
Benson. These guys, I mean, literally, we ran into this. Republicans against actually reforming emergency powers, as if this is okay. So I guess I'm not shocked that the courts decided it this way. You have a real problem here, and it's going to happen again. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen again. I guess if you listen to Bill Gates, it's happening real soon, right? Oh, Q adjacent there, Mega Jesse. Let's go to some comments.
Let's see. Tucker says, this is the same governor who wants to murder and mutilate children, so I couldn't care less what the court thinks. This court can take its opinion and shove it deep inside themselves.
Tucker, speaking of this governor, there was a tweet he had. Let me see if I can find this. If you're not following us, you can go to action_liberty. And there's a tweet we had where we quote tweeted him. Am I using that term correct, William?
You are. Good job.
And Walls was talking about democracy. Where is this here? I'm just quickly trying to scroll because he had something about democracy, and it's like, okay, here we go. This is on July 3rd. Governor Walls says across the country, democracy is being challenged. But in Minnesota, we know voting isn't a threat to power. It's a source of pride. So we just wrote, don't you love being lectured about democracy by the guy who unilaterally declared emergency powers and governed Minnesota by himself? I'm telling you, this is lost on people. They don't get it. They literally don't get it. They'll be lectured. They'll look at this guy as a great guy for democracy, and there's nothing more anti-democratic than when Governor Walz said, I am the sole leader in Minnesota. Screw the legislature. You follow my rules or I put you in jail. In the case of Lisa Hanson, he put someone in jail for that. So that is not democratic. That is so anti-democratic. It's insane. And it's lost on people. Not on you guys. Sorry. I'm just complaining about the people that aren't woken up. Obviously, our audience gets this stuff, right? Maybe I'm just preaching to the choir. Why am I even saying this? You guys get it, right? I just can't stand it. Like, you got to... I was going to say neighbors. Most of my neighbors get it. I got a great neighborhood. But there are some neighbors that don't get it. I know. I saw your signs in election time. But most of my neighbors do. But you see, this is it's like in social circles. You have these people that still this day don't get it. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
We have Base Minnesota says if people could unite and resist authority, none of these losers' decrees would mean anything.
That's it. Someone asked us, what if the Republican Party in that May convention we alluded to that they still haven't paid the bill for? They go, what if the Republican Party forces a mask mandate? Which would have been really unpopular, but the logic was the Mayo Civic Center requires it. And I just looked at the person, I go, well, we're just not going to follow it. They're like, what? What do you mean? I go, yeah, I'm going to walk in. I'll be the first one. I'm walking there without a mask on. And a bunch of people else. What are they going to do? Throw us all out of a political convention? Good luck.
Well, luckily, I think they They were done with the mask mandates at that point, weren't they?
Yes, officially, but it was still that time.
I
where
think we
people
were worried
scared.
about vaccine mandates or the vaccine cards, passports. At that point,
Could have been that. I thought it was a mask mandate, but whatever.
that's what the
Some
DFL
mandate.
did.
Yeah, some mandate. I was just like, we're just not going to comply to it. None of this stuff works if you don't comply.
James Roberts on YouTube says, Jake, what do you think this means for vaccine mandate lawsuits in Minnesota?
The thing that's interesting about the vaccine mandate lawsuits is what happens to companies that mandated it, right? So you can't sue a vaccine company. I mean, if you were on the fence on the vaccines and then you found out, hey, if there's adverse reactions, you can't sue Pfizer, that should just put you over the edge and go, yeah, I'm not going to get this thing. So we're not going to be able to sue the government on this one either. I don't see that happening. And in this regard, the only only mandate by our government, if I remember right, was on state employees. Okay, so maybe they have a suit against the state government. But what's going to be really interesting is the private employers, and there's already those suits happening. So that's what I think about that.
Debbie Z44, I think, is one of Jesse's biggest fans. Says, where Jesse goes one, we go all. Haha, Q adjacent.
Oh, nice. Yeah, a little play on the Q slogan there. I like it.
Yeah, it reminds me of another tweet I had. It was posting the photo of Mission Impossible starring Tom Cruise, and I go, the star of this film believes in a conspiracy where an evil galactic ruler named Xenu froze alien bodies and dumped them into volcanoes on planet Earth. The souls of those bodies eventually found their way into human bodies. I mean, there's no greater conspiracy than what these lunatic Scientologists believe. And this guy is like the poster boy for Scientology. But we're so worried that Q-adjacent James Caviezel would possibly have a film out there. We can't possibly listen to this film that would bring attention to a very important issue.
Yeah, do you remember when Trump did that town hall where the reporter was really trying to get him to disavow QAnon and he just wouldn't do it? I don't know anything about him. I guess they're against pedophilia. That's a good thing, right? And the reporter was like, don't act like you don't know. I don't know anything about him. I don't know.
I don't remember this one.
Yeah, no, it was...
I don't remember that either.
Yeah.
I do actually
Dawson,
remember
go
that.
to YouTube, type in Trump disavow
QAnon town hall.
QAnon town hall. Well, that might be why. Maybe I didn't see the QAnon. I'll never forget when Trump was in a debate, and they're like, will you tell the Proud Boys or whatever they're called to stand down? And he got
Stand by.
He said stand back and stand by.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh,
Everyone's like,
man.
oh, he's telling them to.
And that's, yeah. All right, this is it.
Oh, here
Does
we
it
go.
have
We
to-
have to listen to some Joker talk about it.
Is there a different version?
I was just seeing something.
Let's see what we got here.
A lot of flack for not denouncing QAnon. During the first debate, he got a lot of flack for not denouncing the Proud Boys, for not denouncing
Sorry, I'm
white
skipping.
supremacy.
We don't care about him.
And he can't, not only can he not denounce QAnon, but he endorses them. So let's watch his response to being pressed to denounce QAnon, and then we'll get into
He's got that dead look in his
what I think
eyes.
about this.
On the left that are burning down our cities that are run by Democrats who don't
All right,
know what
while
they're
we're
doing.
denouncing, let me ask you about QAnon. It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that that is completely not true
So,
and that
I know-
disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told
I
you.
know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about it.
They believe it is
If
a
you'd like
satanic
me to
cult run by the deep
study the
state.
subject, I'll tell you what I do know about. I know about Antifa, and I know about the radical left, and I know how violent they are and how vicious they are, and I know how they're burning down cities run by Democrats, not run by
Republican
Republicans.
Senator Ben Sass said, quote, QAnon is nuts, and real leaders call conspiracy theories conspiracy theories.
He may be
Why not
right.
just say it's
Can I be
crazy and
honest?
not true?
He may be right. I just don't know about QAnon.
You do know.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Let me
tell
ask you
all
another
about
thing.
it. Let's waste the whole show. You start off with white supremacy. I denounce it. You start off with something else. Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more in this vein.
Let me just tell you, what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia. And I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree with it.
But there's not
very
a
strongly.
satanic pedophile
I have
cult
no
being run
idea.
by.
I know
You
nothing
don't
about
know
that.
that? Okay.
No, I don't know
You
that.
just
and
this
neither
week.
do you know that.
Okay, just this
Why
week.
aren't you asking me about Antifa? Why aren't you asking me
'Cause you
about the
just-
radical left?
because you're
Why aren't
volunteering
you
it.
asking Joe Biden questions about why doesn't he condemn Antifa? Why does he say it doesn't exist?
Because you're here before
Antifa,
me.
no, she's so cute. Antifa
Yep.
exists. They're vicious, they're violent, they kill people, and they're burning down our cities. And they happen to be radical left.
So first off,
I
Yep,
don't
so
think
that's
I
good
saw
right
that
there.
because it's a town hall, and I probably just didn't care, at the time. But
That's funny.
that's pretty good. I mean, totally trying to trap him, and he doesn't even
Yeah.
take the bait. It's great.
Yeah, he doesn't take the bait at all.
She gets
Yeah.
so mad about it too. You can tell.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the mark, is they have to do that. They have to stand up to Trump, this big bully.
Yeah,
Look,
and-
I'm this powerful woman journalist, and I'm going to shove it to his face. That's all they did in that CNN debate. I'm sorry, CNN town hall.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, basically what they're saying is, attack your supporters, attack some people that, believe in you. And he's saying, no, I'm not doing that. How about Antifa? How about Black Lives Matter? How about you ask Joe Biden about that? So I think he handled it about as well as he can. I'm sure Trump was playing a little dumber than he is, on what QAnon actually is and everything. But
don't think so.
yeah, it's not
Literally,
like he's on the internet
yes,
looking up
exactly.
QAnon.
Why does he's the president of the United States? He has a lot more important things to worry about
Yeah.
than some theory out there. So,
Right.
and once again, if they're against pedophiles, well, that's the thing that really bugs me. Watch our last show. We talk about this a lot, but they're talking about Tim Ballard, who Jim Caviezel plays in The Sound of Freedom, as some Q adjacent guy, believes in these conspiracy theories.
I actually
It's
kind of like the label Q adjacent. It's like, it's saying, yeah, I don't fully believe in Q, but I believe in everything that they're saying anyway. I believe in the same stuff. So, proudly Q adjacent. I'll take that label any day. Alt-right, all that means is alternative right. It just means you're alternative to the mainstream
Is that
right
what
wing.
that means?
I mean, alt-right. What's alternative,
Yeah, I guess I'd never known what that stood for.
What do you think it
I
stood
think
for?
that I think that they
I don't know, I
co-opted,
just-
and they try to make it a race thing. They say, oh, it's a white supremacy thing, it's a white nationalism thing. No, it's not. It's just an alternative way of viewing the conservative agenda. So, same thing with the Q adjacent. Proudly.
I just saw something the other day. Was it the Chaska Drag Story Hour? In fact, we never did our follow-up reporting on that. Someone asked us about it. They did do the Little Roos did the Drag Story Hour with the clown. And I think it was like the Proud Boys that showed up. Maybe I'm thinking something else. But anyhow.
Well, that's what the media said happened. I don't know if it was the Proud
Yeah, but I was
Boys or
looking at
not.
it. It was like there was a black guy and maybe two black guys. It's just like, and I've seen the Proud Boys. They've been at the Capitol before. Actually, it was the most interesting days.
Yeah.
There's some, I think, anti-mandate rally, and there was Antifa there, and then the Proud Boys, because that's what they do, is they kind of like, as from what I could tell, they like to just circle around and do like a perimeter security, and they usually have like slung weapons, right?
Yeah.
So you got this faction of what I would consider Antifa, and then the Proud Boys assembling and they're moving towards like the what's that building? Veterans building, which is like, let's see, south of the Capitol, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw all law enforcement like, holy shit, and quickly getting down there like something's going down. And I was like, I remember not even caring what was going on the stage. I might have been totally 180 degrees as a stage at this point, because I'm like, what the hell's going to go down over here? Like, this is interesting. Nothing happened in the end, but it looked like, because Antifa had slung weapons too. And it looked like shit was going to get out of hand. But anyhow, I see those Proud Boys, and they're not just white guys. And that's the narrative, is a white supremacist.
Yeah, it's led by a black guy.
Yeah, it's
the
like-
leader of the Proud Boys is black. So
You just can't believe anything the media says these days. That's the thing, is they label it, and that's what they're doing with this.
and
movies. They're labeling
I'm
it.
sure there's maybe a couple of racists, in any group, and there's probably some in the Proud Boys. There's probably some everywhere, but to try to label an entire group as a racist, white supremacist group when it's not true at all, it's like Proud Boys are for freedom, for the most part.
Bridget, I'm sorry we're talking about Proud Boys.
Oh, you're good.
Should we talk about Proud Girls? What's going on in your world?
I am actually browsing the comments.
Oh.
Not really listening to you guys.
I almost thought you were browsing something else, like
No, I'm
shoe
just doing it on
shopping
my
or something
phone,
over there. I
just-
was like, oh, man.
I have done that before.
She's
but
getting bored. You have done that before?
once.
I've done
dare
that
you.
during the show before.
Yeah, we know that, Dawson. Jeez. Actually,
I'm
he's
actually browsing
giving
comments.
field reports back to CIA while we're down there.
You're on to
Probably.
my you're on to my good friend Ray Epps.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go. There you go. It's proof. What do we got?
I was reading like a lot of just the sports comments back and forth, but I read most of them. I think.
Thanks, Dawson.
Look, when I have takes, I want to give them.
Well, what's your take? Tell us the take. Let's not just leave in the comments
One
section.
of the things that someone said was that tennis is not very fun to watch because it's like just two men grunting at each other. And I said, okay, but doubles tennis is super fun to watch and play.
So 4 men
It's
grunting
a funny
at each
way
other?
of putting it. 2 men grunting at each other.
I mean, it kind of is, but
It
there's
is.
also women's
Singles
tennis.
tennis that's what it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Sometimes even in women's tennis, it's two men grunting at each other. It's weird. It's fun though.
I see what you did there.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good, yeah.
That's good.
I think tennis is okay. I mean, team sports are more fun to watch in many regards, I think. Other than the UFC. It's probably my favorite sport to watch these days. Actually, I take that back. I still think football's the top one to watch. I love football. What? Why are you shaking your head? How do you not like football?
No, I do like football, but I don't think it's the most fun to watch on TV or in person. It's too big. You're too far removed. And I've been to some of the football games I've been to that are the best. Well, I literally worked for the U of M Gophers during college, and so maybe that desensitized me to it a little bit. But NDSU games were always pretty fun to watch.
Well, okay, that's a fair point. Football is a fun sport when your team can win.
Yeah.
And you just walk right into that one there. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say we do have one comment. I'm not butchering this name. Tito Bodega? I don't know. But anyway, it
Tito.
says, at this point, I believe the lines have been drawn. Sheep need to be led. The rest of us will not. It's why communist countries have so much conflict.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that, Mega Jesse?
Yeah, no, I mean that I agree with that. I was actually just on True Social here. I mean Trump puts
Is anyone paying
Him and
attention to
Tucker
what's
are
going
going
on the
back.
show
Well,
here?
you know,
Am I the
because
only one
I knew
Look
I
at
knew
William
that,
right now. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, now he looks up from his. Did your wife have something to say? You just making plans over there?
I was looking intently at you, Jake.
No,
you were
you
in the
weren't.
middle
Fake-
of a very
fake news.
thoughtful.
Fake news.
No,
Totally.
no, I
A lot
caught
of
you
people say
looking
William
down.
doesn't have attention.
I caught you looking down. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, you caught me.
Yeah.
See, this is okay. Real quick, this is what Dawson does us dirty because like every now and then we'll check our phones during the show just to we'll get a text or I'll check the Rumble comments, and we'll be watching a video or something, or not even when we're watching a video. Dawson will just cut to us randomly, like you're calling us. Yeah.
Like that.
There you go.
He-
Yep.
What? Did he just do it to me?
He
He just did it to himself.
He just did to
Oh,
himself.
well, see, he
I
is
don't
an
know what you're
asshole like
talking
that because I'll turn around and grab like some coffee.
Yeah.
Look, see, he just did it.
I'm on
you
top
were
of it.
talking. You.
Yeah, but I needed some coffee.
Yeah,
Go
but-
ahead. Finish
but,
your point, William.
It was
Well,
my point. So on True Social, Trump had just put this thing out right before we had started. He said, "DeSanctimonious polls are getting worse and worse, and as the public gets to know him, the Democrats would have a field day with Ron. He's cold as ice, and only hurting the Republican Party. We have a 49-point lead, and should be getting even better than that." William, I haven't
don't
heard
care.
a positive
I
case
don't
for Ron DeSantis in a
care.
while, and I kind of wonder if it sounds like you don't care because, like, you know, it's
don't
like,
care.
you know, to me, it's like, you know, if DeSantis is your guy, and, you know, he's got no energy, you've got no energy about him too. It's like, what's going on?
I mean,
Is
Trump
that,
is
is that an actual question?
Yeah,
or you-
what's
okay.
going on? Because his poll numbers are falling, everything, you know,
Well, he's running a
his
bad
optics
campaign.
are terrible. Like I was exactly.
He's running back.
what makes
I can
his
admit
campaign
that.
bad?
It's not catching on. He's doing like
It's
he's
interesting, isn't it?
well. It's not catching on, and he's committed to doing this same exact thing that's making it flounder. Like
yeah,
they're
he's
not
running a
changing
standard
tactics.
campaign. Yeah, it's like Scott Walker, Ted Cruz. You know, we've seen it all before. Marco Rubio. You know, I just don't see it. It's like, I mean, honestly, it's nice to see because Trump's just killing him. You know, but I just don't get it. And Tucker was just telling me on True Social, he says that DeSantis is meeting with his top donors, and they're figuring out if he's still viable because, he keeps dropping. And Vivek, it looks like Vivek's going to eventually be in second place, which, I'm fine with that. But
he's like 20 points ahead of Vivek on that one poll that you're referring to.
Yeah, but 20 points is all DeSantis has in total, Vivek's at he's climbing up to 4 or 5%. That's coming from a nobody. DeSantis, he was the most popular governor as a Republican in the nation, and then, it's been downhill ever since he announced.
Yeah, that's true.
That is pretty true, actually.
I think we'll just have to wait and see what the debates bring.
What debates?
Rowdy Mom 13 says, "Love my POTUS DJT screwed to sanctimonious."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the camera's on me. Okay.
So is DeSantis your guy?
Yeah, I think I've publicly committed to that. So,
I'm real excited, man. You sound real excited.
Yeah, I'm not 100% committed to him. I like.
Do you think he would
Vivek.
actually? Would he drain the swamp? Would
Oh,
he
yeah, I
actually
think
get
he
rid of the
would.
deep state? DeSantis would?
Yeah. I think
Oh,
so.
I wish he would.
He banned centralized currency in Florida.
Mhm.
The whatever that the Fed coin is.
Yeah. I agree that he's running a terrible campaign because all you gotta do is he's probably got too many people involved. I think he's got too many people checking boxes. I think that his campaign, they don't know how to do this thing entirely right. And I just saw a clip of him on Fox News. Fox News, who's worshiping the ground he walks on. It doesn't make a difference. But
Yeah, I wouldn't
even
go
Fox
that far,
News was
but-
calling him out a little bit and saying you're dropping me in the polls. Is there any hope? And he's laughing at it. Oh, ha ha ha! I'm still in this. I still got a shot. And he was saying, the reason I'm doing so well is because people are fed up with the fake mainstream media. And where is he? He's on Fox News, fake mainstream media. This, the very company that's propping him up.
What really matters is the early states, so you can get momentum. Iowa, the most recent one on Real Clear Politics, was from July 7th. Trump at 44, DeSantis at 21, little Nikki Haley at 2, Tim Scott at 7, Pence 3, Christie 3, Ramaswamy 3, and Hutchinson 1. I'm sorry, Christie had 3 donuts. Christie's at 2.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, actually, in
New Hampshire.
Hampshire,
Let me finish. New
Okay.
Hampshire came out yesterday. No, it came out today. Trump's up 24 on DeSantimonious, 39 Trump, DeSantis 15, Christie 7, Haley 5, Tim Scott at 6, Ramaswamy at 4, Burgum at 3, Pence 1, Hutchinson at 1.
So this
Chris
is
Christie's
actually a
still eating
shift
donuts.
towards DeSantis since the last. I don't remember what outfit did that one, but
Still a huge margin.
it's
And
like a
then-
5-point swing towards DeSantis.
And then, so you're saying he's going big on New Hampshire? And
I don't
have,
know about that. I don't know where he's focusing his
The
attention.
last
I
South
just-
Carolina one is from June 22nd, where Trump's up 23. DeSantis was under 20. He was at 18.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
and then
Scott at 10.
the Florida poll. I mean, if DeSantis can't win Florida, he's toast. And so Trump is up by 20 points on DeSantis
and
there.
Everyone wants to make the headlines, but I mean, Trump, that's his home turf in many regards. Like Mar-a-Lago is the infamous compound there. I mean, that's his home state.
But that should be DeSantis' territory.
No, you could make the
And
same
if-
argument.
if
It
he
should
loses-
be Trump's too. But that's the problem that DeSantis has is he doesn't have home turf because his home turf is shared by 45.
The leader, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, putting the characters down for a second here. No, that wasn't targeted at you, but it was.
I'm the one doing it.
I mean,
so.
DeSantis has always been a bit of a rough candidate to start. Like in his congressional run, things didn't look great at first. When he was
Yeah,
running
not
for
good at
governor-
debating.
He's fine at debating, I think, but like,
Is he?
I think so.
Have you watched him?
I have.
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
Razzle Dazzle has a question for you. Jesse says, would Trump really eliminate the deep state? How do we really know Jesse cannot?
I think he's the only one that will try. Maybe Vivek would too, but there's no way of knowing until he's
Trump
actually in
seemed
there.
pretty content with the deep state when he was there. In fact,
Yeah, right.
And again, I know you hate talking about this,
The-
but I
the
think there's a
deep state
reason
that's
you don't
trying to
like
throw him
talking
in
about. Let me
prison.
finish. There's a reason you don't like talking about this, and it's Operation Warp Speed, and that was the.
Here's
Someone says,
Williams 1
Roddy
point.
Mom also says DeSantis pushed the
Williams 1 point is back. The
Yeah,
same
this-
one from before. The same one from every episode. Because the same vaccine that DeSantis loved to get to, right? He's
You
double.
should bring up what Jesse
he's
told us in
boosted.
the last show.
What
about
did he
Trump.
say?
about Trump.
Oh, William knows
pushing
about that
for the
already.
trans
I know about what?
woman in
The
2012.
2012 thing.
Oh yeah, where he went all in on the trans.
Oh yeah,
All
well, I mean,
in.
Yeah.
So this is where Trump DeSantis has an advantage over Trump, is that DeSantis is coming off as more socially conservative.
Well,
which
you know,
it could work. It's
that's like when Ted Cruz said, "You have New York values, I have Texas values." Did it work for Ted? Mm-mm.
well,
That's
so
the thing. It never
could have
sticks
worked.
on Trump.
It doesn't
It could have
stick.
worked early on if there weren't so many candidates. But
It's the same situation.
The social conservative, well, yeah, and that's also a problem. The social conservative lane was so split. But now when you look at the race, there are a lot of social moderates running. Now, I don't think that's necessarily going to take away from Trump, but DeSantis does have a good angle here. Social conservatives might have a home there.
I just don't know. I mean,
You need to take that?
no, I don't need to take that. No,
William, base Minnesota. Where did that comment go? I had a comment for you. 1 second.
Well, let me finish my point here. Just find that comment.
Yeah.
It
I
just
lost
never
it.
sticks to Trump.
I found it.
It never does. It's like he's inconsistent as the day is long. It's one of my problems with Trump. The guy doesn't really have hardcore beliefs in many regards. He's kind of fluid. Clearly the LGBT issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's not principally aligned with us on a lot of things, certainly not in sound money, which is a really big deal. I do like his foreign policy a ton more than most other
Right.
people. And we're very much in line with the base.
I think
right?
if we've
But
got
hold on,
to
let me
the
finish.
yeah,
Hey, this is what you always do. You always interrupt, Jesse. Just playing your book.
you're playing William's book.
But the point
That's
I'm trying to
not
make
true,
is
actually.
it never seems to matter to people because, and I think it's just because they view Trump not as Mr. Consistent, not as Mr. Principle, but as a warrior fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that just overtakes any of those other things. And all these other candidates aren't viewed that way. And so they have to look at them for their ideological consistency.
Yeah.
Well, another thing is, real quick, I don't know what DeSantis' foreign policy looks like. I don't think he's talked about it much, if at all.
Well, he's
So I'm kind of-
pro-Cuba, we know, right, Jesse? No, just kidding.
Well, I am kind of worried about that. Like, that could be a big deciding factor for me in terms of who I support in the primary. And I plan on voting for DeSantis in the primary, but
Still?
I would happily vote for Trump, too,
I'm just kidding.
come Super Tuesday.
Are you guys going to vote in the primary in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Because then the actual parties get your data. They get to know. Which
yeah,
party
then they
you're
know.
on.
Yeah,
no.
then they know.
Yeah, you forgot about that, didn't you?
Yep.
You guys don't know that at home.
No, but
in Minnesota, you don't know which party someone belongs to. When they try to guess, it's all like taking marketing data with the voter file and mix it together and making assumptions. But if you vote in the state primary, and this is a law that was changed, Republicans and Democrats like it, the voter file with party identification goes to the two major parties. Not to us, not to anyone else, only the two major parties. It's the biggest advantage they could possibly have. So now they know exactly which voters are on their side.
Yeah. Well, one thing I want to say, if we were to really get down to the nitty gritty on the monetary, on the treasury issues, I think we would actually err more with Trump than not. If we're really getting down to the specifics, but
How do you look at it?
Keep
that way?
lowering interest rates into infinity.
Right.
That was his whole thing.
yeah, I don't want to speak in generalities. Like if we were to really dig deep
I was
into it.
getting into the specifics. You're speaking in generalities.
Oh man, William at it again. I'm not even going
No,
to
I
address
just gave
you
a
anymore.
specific example. Give me an example.
How
where
about
Trump would be-
we talk about Ron DeSantis' wife, aka Casey to eyebrows? You should check out her eyebrows. I've never
Pull
seen
up-
eyebrows
pull up
like this.
picture, Dawes.
There's a
Pull
couple
out
of caterpillars
Casey.
hanging out on her face.
No,
Casey
pull up-
DeSantis'
Can't even, like,
eyebrows.
remember
No,
them.
because that was the worst pivot I've ever
I've
seen.
never seen deflection like that in my
Yeah,
Well,
that
but
was-
we have to look it up now. I'm
No,
very
I
curious.
just said if we were to get to the nitty gritty on the monetary issues, we don't have time to. It would take 2 hours if we wanted to get to the nitty gritty.
But
I'm
you
not going to
just
deal
said-
with. I'm not going to deal
Give
with a
an
little
example of where we would
sideways
agree
attack
with
of
Trump.
William.
Give an example of where we would agree with Trump.
No.
He's not playing your game. But
Not
we do
playing
have
your
to see
games.
these eyebrows. I'm very curious.
Also, it's not polite to make fun of a woman's looks.
Yes, I was going to
Too
go
bad.
with that. He takes that play from
Too bad.
Trump playbook.
Yeah.
there,
What's
clearly.
the-
There's some nasty pigs out there.
Well, there are. Well,
No,
so
she is
she's
not
nasty
a-
pig.
No, I'm not saying
She's a
her.
good-looking woman.
I'm just calling her Casey the eyebrow.
The eyebrow. Do we have a photo yet? I'm very curious
her
where
name?
he's even getting this from. Is
Casey
this launched by
DeSantis?
Trump?
No, this is
like-
this is a grassroots thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of Trump acolytes who are like really
Mark Kroll
hating
says
on.
brilliant, Jesse. I don't know if that's for the eyebrow
Thank you.
Is it this chick?
or for the deflection.
Well, that's not the best picture, but you could find other ones.
You mean
where-
No,
Mary looks
I
good
want
in
to
this
find
picture?
one. I want to find one. There's nothing wrong with those eyebrows. Bridget, you.
it's a little too far away.
Oh,
Bridget,
sorry, I didn't
you're
see.
more of an expert on this than
I
we
don't
are.
think those look bad, personally.
I think she's a good-looking woman.
Did
She
you
used to
type
be
in-
a
They're
news
big,
anchor?
they're
Did you
look
type
bad.
in Casey DeSantis and eyebrows?
I typed in Casey DeSantis.
Now type in eyebrow after it. It's probably some doctored photo
Yeah, you're probably
from
gonna.
Mr. Q adjacent over there.
But base Minnesota's comment to William was William something about just getting married. Let me find it again. I lost it 'cause it went up.
Yeah, look at that second one. Click on that
That's
second
fake.
one.
Let's
That's
see it.
fake.
That's real.
That's fake. I've
Okay,
seen
Look
it.
at
that's
that.
bad.
News.
No, that's
fake
fake.
news.
No
I've seen-
way.
What's the
That's
source?
I've seen
That does look
this.
bad.
This is
Ooh,
a.
I
image-
can't tell.
I don't know where we're going right now, so
And it doesn't look like any of her other pictures.
Yeah, look at that.
Twitter.
That's who we're
Oh,
talking
right.
about.
Yes. Very. Oh, the person's got a Ukraine flag on their profile.
Well, that-
15 likes.
oh
dude.
my
Very-
gosh.
Okay,
This is.
that doesn't mean that she doesn't have caterpillar eyebrows.
She doesn't. She's a good-looking
She-
woman.
the crazy thing
doesn't
is
normally
you
have
can
that.
you can change your eyebrow width.
Yeah,
with makeup.
yeah. Of course, she shaved. You know, I'm sure that she's
That's
always
makeup.
working
That's
on
no,
them.
it's
Photoshop.
makeup. Well, it's Photoshop,
Yeah,
but
it's
also
Photoshop.
you don't shave the. I mean, you do. You trim them, but
Yeah,
Yeah, like no other picture if you just Google her has those kind of eyebrows.
Yes.
No.
And even when
I
you
was
type
finding
in
'em.
eyebrows, that's all you find.
so that's the original image that people. So look at the second row, second one over.
Yeah.
That's the original image that people. have
Those
been
are some
talking
thick
about.
That is
eyebrows.
thick there,
but
but
I mean, Bridget, women sometimes have. Oh yeah, they definitely emphasize it.
Yeah.
Women have some bad makeup days, right?
for sure.
I mean, that's not a. I don't. That looks so fake. That's a bad look.
I mean, like, you have plenty to attack DeSantis on. Why go after
Yeah,
his
why
wife?
go after
Why go
Casey?
after her looks?
That was a very low blow by you, Jesse.
I
no,
don't
but that's
care.
what all the MAGA people are doing. I don't want to say MAGA people, but like that's what a lot of Trump supporters are doing.
Now you. That
Well,
was a
here's
good
the
job
thing.
to get the hot. You put you in the
They're
hot
going
seat.
after Casey.
Very good job putting yourself in the hot seat when you said all MAGA people.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that
No,
because like
no, not walking it back. That's what William does.
I agree with Trump supporters on like almost everything generally,
Except for Trump.
except for
big
Trump right now. He will probably eventually be the nominee. I'll give you guys that, and I will vote for him. if
Let
he's
me
the
bring
nominee.
this up here because we had a member of our team, our greater team. Dawson, somebody needs to be let in. Will you just put the camera on William and then we'll keep talking? All right, so go let him in. You'll know who it is. So anyhow, what I was saying is, I know you're going to be on camera here because Dawson can't do the switching right now as we let
who's-
the doctor and the good doctor. We got a
Neil
good
Shaw?
doctor, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So the bet, and we'll get him on the bet too. Just tell him to come in the studio. Do you have a mic for him?
You can have.
Do you want to get on the show or not? You want to be hanging? Come on the show. Get hook him up with
I'll
a
give
mic.
Neil my mic.
We'll just
He can
keep
read
the
comments.
keep the camera on William.
Okay. What are we doing here?
Let me read this comment really quick.
Go
Base
ahead.
Minnesota said newlywed William needs to take a break from politics and start the baby making.
I
So,
I do need to
my
take a
advice
break
was to
from
take a break from
politics.
politics.
That is a good nickname for you, though. Newlywed William.
No,
Thank
But it
that's-
can't
thank
last
you.
long.
I think
that's
that's
not better than the
I think
blonde
that's an
man
endearing
Walsh.
nickname.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not an insulting. What were you thinking, Jake?
We were on attack mode for a little
Yeah,
bit
we're
there,
so used to attacking each other
Yeah,
here.
it's
We're
true.
off our game.
Yeah.
All right, we can take the camera finally off of William here for a second.
Why'd you want it on me?
Because you always accuse him of like putting the camera on you. I'm like, well, that's funny. Neil, we got a chair, a stool right there. If you want to grab that. Do you need to go to makeup first, or are you good to just pop on the set?
Natural brown.
Yeah.
All right, there we
Right
go.
here?
Dr.
Perfect.
Neil Shaw
Hey, man.
joined right behind William
Good to
there.
see you, too.
Keep an eye on him. Maybe you should keep an eye on Q adjacent Mega Jesse.
Getting myself in trouble.
Is anyone in here not Q Jason? I think everyone is now. If you
I think so.
care about little
I have not
kids.
identified that way yet.
Yeah,
I'm not going to identify. We're going to end the show on this. This was the bet, okay? This is a member of our team. You know him, Neil. I won't mention his name on air because he doesn't like getting mentioned. But he put up a wager. He reneged on
I know
this.
what this is.
Yeah, you know what it is because this went on for a while on our
Yeah,
thread.
yeah.
And it was Trump will end up in jail. And he tried getting Jesse to bet $100 on that. Poor little Jesse, $100.
And then he starts setting all the stipulations. It's like, oh, so it's all rigged for you to win.
Well, remember,
just like Biden.
I quickly took him up on that bet. I don't think Trump's going to jail. Okay, I could explain my outs, and then he started the stipulations. But the way that I wanted the bet to go is Trump is convicted and sentenced and spends time in, we'll say, prison, because I think in any case he's going to prison. Not saying a jail holding cell and then he gets out. He goes to prison. Who believes that's going to happen in this room? Neil, do you believe that's going to happen?
I don't know. I'm not sure you could continue to live in this country if that actually happens.
Well, we know how far the left will go.
Right. I'm sure that, I can tell you for sure they want that to happen. They want that to happen. That is the goal. They won't stop until that happens. But I don't think they'll realize what they've done if that actually comes to pass.
So $100 on the line. Which way do you go?
I think that there's some goodness left, and I think ultimately, despite that being their goal, he will not end
The
up
eternal optimist right there. I
That's
love
right.
it. What do you think, William?
I don't think he's going to jail.
You don't think he's going to jail?
Yep.
Jesse, you
He
already
ain't
made
going
your-
to jail.
And Bridget, where do you weigh in on that
Gosh,
subject?
I don't know. Someone said good answer, Neil. Roddy Mom did. She's been all for Trump. But I don't know. Honestly, I could see it maybe happening, but I don't have insight. Just because they don't stop at anything. So I think like they're going to do what they want to do, and they've done that so far.
Do you know there is such a thing called a pocket pardon? You guys know about this? So before he left office, he signed a pardon for himself.
I did not know
What?
that.
Well, we
No.
don't know that he did that.
We don't know.
But he could.
But
He could have.
Yeah.
If anyone did, Trump did.
I
So-
mean, listen.
So you can pardon yourself
Yeah, what is that?
in going forward for any crime?
Well, we're talking about an area we don't know of
That's
because
fascinating.
remember, no president's ever been convicted.
Right.
No one's ever been charged.
He could
with a
actually be
crime.
elected president from a jail cell.
From a jail cell. Yes.
and then he would immediately pardon himself and then just walk out.
And remember, on
That'd be so
Tuesday's
cool.
program, we will talk to presidential candidate Joe Exotic from federal prison. That's going to be, I think it's right. What did you line it up for? 1
I
o'clock?
think it's 1 o'clock.
So right away on the show, we're going to open up with Joe Exotic from a federal penitentiary. So Mr. Tiger King himself.
That's going to be thoroughly entertaining.
You guys come up with some questions. You guys are the ones that want him on the show again.
Mm-hmm.
Neil,
Well,
anything-
he wanted to
But
be
is he on the Action for or the Truth Hurt show?
Yeah, he's coming
Or
on
their
Truth
show.
Hurt Show live. So you guys, if you want to ask the Tiger King any questions, let us know. So we'll have it. Any other comments? Neil, anything you want to get off your mind, off your chest here today?
No, I can't believe they. Well, they'll charge Ray Epps, and then he'll get the Hunter Biden treatment. So they'll slap on the wrist, and then
Yeah, that's what I was
while all the
saying,
other
too.
folks in the January 6 riots rot in jail without representation.
Wouldn't that be crazy? They convict him, and then Biden's like, he is pardoned.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, Fed, clearly a Fed. Oh my God, what a crazy story.
Yeah.
But we're the nuts. We're the ones that are crazy crackpot conspiracy theorists. Last comment.
We'll give the last comment to Neil because it's a lot of just going back and forth. So Glenn Cotton says, first met Neil at the Minnesota GOP convention. He's a good public speaker.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And
That was just a compliment, not a
I
comment.
know.
It
I
was,
know. Well,
but there's a
I
lot
had
of
to
just
pay
going
him
back
to
and forth
write
Uh,
here.
that.
So
Yeah.
A lot going back and forth at Neil or going
I know
back and
about
forth
Trump. It's a lot of Roddy Mom 13 supporting Trump and everything
Gotcha.
that's positive said about Trump on here.
Look, I think
So-
there's no one that can. There used to be honest people that were left of center that could call balls and strikes. I don't think that there's any reasonable person that can look at what's happening to Trump and everything, all the allegations around Biden, and say that this is an equal application of the law. And so what differentiates us from Banana Republic if we can't equally apply what's supposed to be blind justice to every American? So the people that say, well, Trump ought to be charged he broke the law, well, that's fine, but then you have to charge the sitting president, and you have to charge his son, and you have to figure out why one of their cocaine was there, and now all of a sudden the Secret Service can't tell you whose cocaine it was. You know, that's what I think should be most upsetting to most Americans. If people can take the partisan hat off for a second and say, look, if we are supposed to be a nation of laws, if we're no longer a nation of laws, what exactly are we? How are we any different than Russia or Uganda or China or wherever? We just have better window dressing. And that ultimately should be what drives this nation. And you know, that if the same people that would say close Gitmo all of a sudden find themselves saying J6, people that are arrested shouldn't have the same rights, you can't hold those two thoughts simultaneously. Either it's justice for all or there's no justice for anybody. And that's what to me is the most upsetting thing about the entire Trump thing. I think, you know, at the very least he did something incredibly moronic, and there's a possibility he broke the law. And if you want to go down that road, you absolutely have to for any other politician that's done that. And we're seeing a greater and greater gap in how citizens are prosecuted or treated by the law. And you screw up a 4473. I mean, you're going to get a felony for sure. ATF's going to find you.
Background check.
A background check, right? Because we have background checks when you buy a weapon. I mean, Hunter obviously lied. There's no one's even, he hasn't even said, I didn't lie about it.
Well, yeah, because he took a plea to that, right?
Yeah,
so he's
that's
admitted
right.
guilt on that.
And so he gets nothing. I mean, he gets to keep any firearm he'd have. I mean, that would be a disqualifying event for anybody else.
That's an interesting point. What firearms does he own? That'd be really interesting to know. I wouldn't be surprised he owns an AR-15.
Who knows? But
he owns a lot of things that.
But he's a disqualified person, right? I mean, he
Correct,
cannot purchase a firearm of any type from a.
Which I disagree with, by the way. I think if you smoke pot, you can still buy a firearm. I'm not saying that's two simultaneously at the same time is a good idea, but I'm just saying that you are discredited. You can't own a firearm. You can't because that's what they ask on the background check. And so just lighting up a joint disqualifies you from owning a firearm.
Right.
I'm against that.
There's a legitimate conversation there. I mean, maybe people draw a line of crack or coke or whatever else he did. But the point is, he lies. He gets a slap on the wrist, gets to keep his firearms. There's people who have been popped first-time offense with a joint in their pocket, and it's a felony, or then they lose for the rest of their life, the right to defend themselves and their family.
Nice to have your dad as the president, right?
Yeah.
You got something for me, William?
No, I was just trying to look up what type of firearm Hunter had, because he was charged for some sort of gun infraction.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Didn't he pitch the gun in a trash can?
Was that what it was?
That's
Are you
what
saying something different than the background check he was charged with? The charge was that he falsified a background check, the form that you fill out when it says that you haven't used.
Oh, okay, I wasn't tracking
right,
that
there was
part.
that, but I think
what
there
are
was
you
also
doing when
something
Neil
with the
and I are
lost firearm.
talking? You're just in La La Land over there? What?
I was listening.
Literally, we
for the
spent
gun.
2 minutes talking about this, and he's like, hey, he got charged with something in firearms, too.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it must have gone right over my head for some reason.
When are you going to watch Sound of Freedom?
Maybe this weekend.
Okay.
Have you seen it, Neil?
No, I can't get myself excited. I'm going to watch it, but I feel like I'm going to be so depressed afterwards.
You're
I
not
need to be in
depressed.
the right.
Actually, shockingly, because
Well, different people take it differently.
No,
Some people
come
have been, I
on.
think.
No one's depressed.
It's gonna be hard
Well,
to see.
kind
Well,
of,
okay,
or
it'll be
just,
hard to see.
Yeah,
but remember,
upset,
the
I
ending
guess.
is kind of empowering, though. So you don't leave the theaters that way.
Oh, is that how you left the theater feeling?
Yes, the music told me to feel that way.
No, I disagree.
Yeah, I definitely think.
I'm not gonna
everyone
say
felt that way.
the ending shot that
Yeah,
they were
don't
pulling
spoil
back
it.
on.
I'm sorry, but you've had plenty opportunity. What, you got married? Is that an excuse?
Yeah, I'm a little
Honeymoon?
busy. A little busy.
You did have a reason, and you had clearance to go to that movie last night. You didn't go to it.
I had
Now, we
clearance
learned
to
that
go to
Jesse
movie.
doesn't like movies.
Thank you for giving me clearance to see the movie.
Yes.
Wasn't there an Action for Liberty tweet this morning that said William likes the movie? Go see it or something like that.
No, that was a Mission Impossible.
Oh, it was a Mission.
Because we were talking about the
Oh.
conspiracy.
I
You know, the
did see
star
Mission
of Mission
Impossible.
Impossible is a conspiracy theorist.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah, he believes this galactic leader named Xenu froze aliens and put them in volcanoes, and those souls took over human bodies. He believes in that conspiracy.
He believes in it.
Yeah.
But we have religious freedom in America.
That's
And
right.
He's still one of the few good actors left making good movies that aren't
Exactly.
woke, that are fun. Yeah.
And Jim Caviezel's a good actor too.
Yeah.
And by the way, actors are crazy people. They are. So let's stop caring about the actors. Let's worry more about the story. Go see Sound of Freedom. It's a great movie.
Neil, are you gonna see Barbie when it comes out?
Barbie?
Yeah.
No, and it's actually it's a shame because I think they've ruined what I would consider to be a feminist icon in American history, right? So Barbie was in an era where women couldn't do things because it wasn't acceptable. She could be a doctor, an astronaut, a veterinarian.
Look how clever this
So,
guy
so
is.
I think Barbie is a fantastic classic American character. My daughters love Barbie.
So how did
We
they
had a big
ruin?
Barbie dream
How'd they
house.
ruin Barbie?
It just went totally woke.
Oh, so we do have to review this
That's
movie.
all the commentary that I've read on is that it's gone totally woke
All
and it's
right.
ruined everything that Barbie's about.
We got a question for you guys in the audience. A lot of people liked our review of Sound of Freedom. We're like, should we do? Well, Dawson thinks this because he's like, this is my job. Yay, movie reviews. Yeah, see. Should we do movie reviews very frequently in the case of like Barbie because it's being accused of woke, and then we'll give our honest
it's already
assessment?
decided. We are doing Barbie.
Well, I was
We're doing
shocked.
a group-
We
we're doing a
watched
field
the
trip to Barbie.
You guys can. You guys
Yeah, well,
can.
Jesse doesn't
like
like
the trailer.
movies.
The trailer. I never watched any of it.
Oh, you weren't here for this.
No.
Yeah,
No,
I don't
because
know
we got
anything
Jake
about it.
on his
I'm
side.
good.
No, we watched.
Well, yeah,
it
I was
live
watching the
and-
trailer. It was
yeah.
like, remember when Bridesmaids came out? I'm like, I don't want to see that movie. And I got drugged to it because that's what happens. Your lady friends, your wives, they drag you to the shows. And I was like, I'm glad I went to that.
It's
That was pretty good.
That's a funny movie.
The dress try-on day, really comical, great scene. Really, really funny. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't actually.
It's not one you would ever pick out, but it's one. It's like Mean Girls or some of those movies that you're like, I don't know if it'll be funny, and then it's really funny.
It's pretty
and
funny.
Mean Girls is totally awesome.
Yeah,
so.
Mean Girls is great.
We have one question for Neil if we have time.
Okay, let's do it.
Roddy Mom says, what does Neil think about the court mask mandate ruling, please?
So, which was this the one where the court basically said that Walz had a right? Was this the one about the emergency powers?
Yeah, probably they're referring to the Court of Appeals
know,
one
she didn't
this week.
The Court of Appeal ones that just dropped this
Yeah.
week, basically saying you had a right to. I mean, I think it's a correct reading of the statute. I think the statute's the problem. So I don't think that the court was wrong. I think that the Emergency Act language is really loose.
But if it's an act of nature, though, is it an act
Right.
of nature? And you know, actually, that's
it's an act
only
of
one.
Anthony Fauci, but
And that, but that's only one part of the statute.
Right.
There's two parts. Is it an act of nature, and then the county resources couldn't handle the problem, which it's hard to argue COVID couldn't have been solved at the county resource level too.
Yeah.
Because they blew that out of proportion.
Right.
Yeah.
At least in Hennepin and Ramsey counties, for sure, where most of the cases were.
Yeah. Well, I guess none of us really cared if they declared a state of emergency in Hennepin and Ramsey County. Oh,
Right.
oh shucks. All right. Well, we over here in the burbs and greater
Neil's
Minnesota don't
in,
care.
aren't you in Ramsey?
unfortunately, we're literally 100
You're
yards
still-
from the.
You were 100 yards from it?
100 yards from
man.
the border. We keep trying to secede to Anoka. I don't think Ramsey's not going to let our tax base out.
Screw Neil. We would have been fine. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back on Tuesday unless we do a Barbie review. So that would be probably tomorrow.
Razzle
It might
Dazzle
happen.
says don't spend much time on movies and reviews.
Don't spend much time.
That's one comment.
Razzle Dazzle, I'm not going to take your advice on that one.
Yeah. Well, I got a morale thing here.
We can.
you
It's a
know.
multifaceted thing. We can do a lot of stuff.
We do have,
See,
we
my
do have
problem
a whole
is-
franchise, so.
My problem is I can't go to those theaters and not get like large buttered popcorn.
Yep. Yep.
Like if
That's
you're
the
talking
problem.
about artery clogging, I mean, jeez.
You're right.
We got a doctor here. I'm afraid to even say that on air. Like he's just judging me. He's like, "Oh, Jake, stop it." All right, we'll be back on Tuesday with another show. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.